I was the Davenport Chair teaching at Yale in 1972. And one of the things I did with my students, or the thing I did with my students, was a submission for Centre Pompidou, for which we entered as a team. And I became aware then of Richard and Renzo as a pair. And then as I got interested in the work, I realized that they'd been partners with Norman, that Richard was partners with Norman. So I'd say it was early 70s, maybe before, but I think early 70s. I mean, we need to talk about impact in two ways. Impact in terms of ideas, and also impact in terms of just the scale of the implementation. So Norman has practiced in an amazing way, which crosses all the continents at a scale that is hard for me to comprehend. And how he does it all is a kind of a miracle. So I think there's impact because he's present in China, and he's present in Saudi Arabia, and he's present in Europe, and he's present in Germany, and some of the works are seminal and very significant to the particular countries. And apart from that, there's conceptually the ideas which have an impact onto their own, and they cross borders in other ways. So I'd say the impact has been very substantial, both in terms of ideas and the extent of the application of these ideas to many actual projects. What might we do to make cities more livable? I think there's many issues. So many issues that it's a complex question that has no answer. There's the question of mobility, of transportation. I don't know what the answer will be, but it's not what we have today. It's not the private car dominating. I think there's interaction between the market side, developers who really shape cities today more than anyone else. And it's not that we have comprehensive planning that says this is the optimal density and that would be it. Very few cities are able to do that. So I think we tend to build too high densities, and I think we tend to build too low densities. In the United States, we have both sicknesses. So you got density issues, you got transport issues. Then you ask sustainability. Sustainability is a force that we must work with, but it's become a slogan to be manipulated. Because to me, sustainability has been part of our thinking from day one, you know? Maybe we were not so conscious when I started an architect. I mean, I'm very close in age to Norman, so it's about the same generation. We were not aware of the limitations on resources. We were somewhat aware about the issues of pollution and consumption of energy and so on. We were beginning to be aware of the force of demographics. Now, as the years went by, these forces became more choking, more constraining. And of course we have to deal with them, but that doesn't make good architecture. I know too many buildings that have platinum LEED rating and they're poor architecture, you know? The LEED rating and the other methods of evaluating sustainability don't measure quality of life in the building, and that troubles me. I had the pleasure of being there for one conference, which I enjoyed a lot. To me, it's interesting because it's a combination of an archive, plus the ambition of being an educational place in which new ideas are generated. So most of us end up with an archive, most of us, some of us who are doing work that's worthy of archives, but I think that trying to make that a teaching instrument and even I'd call it a research instrument is fascinating to me, and I hope it expands and proliferates.